Hey everyone, I'm Tanay, developer advocate for Linea, and with me I have Yash, who's the developer advocate for MetaMask Embedded Wallets. Hey Yash.
Hey Tanay, how's it going?
Good, good. So last time we spoke, we made a video about MetaMask embedded wallets and how one can use it to improve the user experience of their apps. And I think it's super helpful, especially if you are participating in a competition like Linear Exponent and you're trying to climb the leaderboards. It's really helpful to have a compelling. We looked at how one can use it, and maybe this time you could show us how to implement the embedded wallets into a Linear app.
That's perfect, actually. Cool. So, as you see my screen over here, from the last time we had covered a lot of things about what like embedded wallets is and stuff like that. And you can just find the link over here in this particular tweet as well to look at the particular stream and just understand what it actually does. Today, we are just going to make a very simple application out there for helping you set up embedded wallets with your Linea app very quickly. So first thing, you can always go to the Linea docs and just go to the quick start of Linea docs. And that is where you can find how to build a contract, how to make a front-end application, and that actually covers MetaMask embedded wallets as well. And it's like all things included in terms of like making a contract, interacting with the contracts and stuff like that. But that goes deep into the linear side of things, as it should, right? Today, we want to explore more about the MetaMask embedded wallet side of things, and which is where you can refer to the MetaMask Quick Start. Although this can just work fine for you, I'm just going through it because like I want to like explore more in depth about what you can do, and you can just explore more things according to your convenience. And that is where the MetaMask documentation comes into place. So you, whenever you go to the MetaMask documentation, you can go to the quick start, and I want to create a wallet that is a embedded wallet inside of my app, and you can just go to the builder and you can use social logins or wallet aggregator. It's up to you, whatever you want to do, and different kinds of like platforms, environments, whatever you prefer as well. For this one, I'm going to use React because that's the most familiar I am, as like it's my favorite one. And I guess it's the thing with the most Web3 developers as well. React is like everywhere, React and Next.js, I feel. So we can go through the steps from here, but it's more fun when you actually code it live. So I have everything set up for now. Okay. So we will go through the React application in this. And I've opened up the dashboard of Web3 Auth as well. So you can always go to dashboard.web3auth.io and click on login, and that will take you to a particular project. And I'm at this particular project right now. So let's go step by step, shall we? Tanay, if you have any questions, just make sure to like be like interrupting in between.
Sounds good.
Awesome. So first of all, you can always clone. I've already cloned it, and I just need to install the basics things, right? So this is the SDK, Web3 Auth module, and this is Wagmi, right? So Wagmi requires the React query as well as the own library. So if you see the package JSON right now, I have all these different things added alongside React, just a simple application, nothing else, right? And I'll just quickly do an npm install, although it should have been installed because I was running this application. So everything is installed over here. Next, I need to get my client ID from the Web3 or dashboard. So I'll copy this client ID, and I have to create a context because when we talk about hooks, this is using the hooks version of it. You can use a non-hooks version, you can use view composables, whatever. It's basically dependent on the particular thing you are using, right? We're using React, so we should use the hooks version of it. And we are just making sure we are pasting the client ID over here. So how this works is I'm taking the basic state, that is basic TypeScript stuff, to get the like particular object. We'll talk about this later, but we need to import the React context from Web3 Auth. We have to create a context. So what we are doing is simple context. I just make sure these are like in different pages, so that different places, so that I'm able to easily edit it. But we need to create a Web3 Auth options in which we require the client ID, which we just copied from the dashboard, and the Web3 Auth network. This is not a network of Linea. This is the Web3 Auth network where the keys are generated. And you can find it over here. I'm on Sapphire DevNet, right? There are two options, Sapphire DevNet and Sapphire Mainnet. So I can always do this, but this particular project right now is on Sapphire DevNet. DevNet is always for like testing environment. And if you want to go to production, you have to go to the Sapphire mainnet. Keys change between the two. So it's like very important that it's Sapphire mainnet before you go live. So that was basically the context setting. You will get to know about this over here, which I covered on configuring the Web3 auth. So this is the only thing that you have to configure here. The next thing is the provider, right? In any like about hooks, we have to make sure a context is set, and then in the root of the application, we set the provider of it. Like it's the same thing with Bagmi as well. You see, you set a Bagmi provider, but when you're using MetaMask embedded wallets, that is Web3 auth, you have to set up the Bagmi provider given by us so that all the interactions happen directly. You're still using Bagmi, but it's used through us. So all the different things are set up for you without even going to switch between different things. I've added comments so that these lines can be mapped. So don't get confused with a lot of comments over here. So over here, I'm just taking the Web3 auth provider and the context which I had set up from here in this particular file. I'm getting the Wagmi provider and the React query things what standard Wagmi has. Creating the query client, right? And like over here, I am making sure Web3 auth provider is the first thing. Within it is the query client, and within the query client is the Wagmi provider, right? And it always houses your application, whatever app you have, and that is the entry point, right? So this is how you set up the whole thing. Whatever else you have, make sure the Web3 auth provider is like above the blockchain stuff. Over here, it's Wagmi, and Wagmi always needs query client. So that is how it has to be nested, and that is how we have nested it. So this is the basic setup you need to do, right? After that, you have set up the Wagmi, set up the Web3 auth provider. You can just move forward and use the hooks wherever you want, right? Within the app, I have all the hooks available. If you want to have a look at what are the hooks available, you just need to go to the React SDK documentation. And here you can find all the different hooks, right? All the different hooks. And if you want to find all the separate like Wagmi hooks, we have a small documentation around that as well. If you want to go in depth, you can always go to the Wagmi documentation and you can find every single thing. So over here, we have written the website of it as well. And these are the basic hooks given by Web3 auth. So here you can go and change the particulars as well. If you're using JavaScript, you don't need to do hooks. You just need to use functions. The same functions have been exposed as hooks. So that's that, right? And we'll be using the connect hook right now to connect. So as simple as that, I just have a button that is called connect or login rather. And inside of the login button, I'll just call the hook connect, nothing else. If I want to show the loading, if I want to show the error, there are hooks for that as well. Now everything is set up. Similarly for disconnect, if I want to get the user information, which I'll show in a bit, I can do that as well. And all these addresses and everything, these are all set up for you from Wagmi. So you just need to just directly call Wagmi use account. So as soon as you're logged in, your logged in view can have the different aspects of, if you might see, there should be something, yeah, address right here. Simple, right? And if I want to send transactions and things like that, if you see the standard Wagmi templates, I have used those only. So I just use the Wagmi templates and just use it directly in terms of how they have been set up. So you don't need to do any other Wagmi setup. Wagmi setup, you just need to call the hooks, you need to create elements, you need to create components, and it's all done for you. Any questions till now, Tanay? Anything you think is missing from my end before I go and show like a live demo of how this app looks like?
I think this is pretty straightforward, like very well explained. I think makes it clear. Let's check out the.
Awesome. Perfect. So it's time to run this application. So I'm just running this application right now. This is my local host, and I just need to log in right now. See, this is my new instance. I've not configured anything over here. I just made sure my Linea is over here turned on, right? So you have to make sure about that as well. And now I will just click on login. Oh, I did click on one thing. I turned off my Google. So I'm just turning on my Google login right here. I'll show this in depth as well, like how do different things set up. And this is all live as you see, right? And just refresh and Google will show up. So right now I can click on Google and I'll log in. And as soon as the login is complete, this is done, right? I can see this is my user info, which I just talked about over here, right? This user info hook. And what a user information it gives me is my email, particular connection IDs. Like connection ID is basically what you set up over here in terms of something default or something new. That is the connection ID when you're doing custom authentication. That is something a bit advanced when you want to have your own connection. So here, Google is the connection, which is a default one. And you even get an ID token, which you can send in the backend to verify if this user is correct for you or not. And you can even send it safely to add it to the database of the basic user information, right? As a MetaMask, we do not store any information of the user. But as a dApp developer, you might like to store the email and some particular things that can help you identify the user and give particular reward points and stuff like that. So that is where it's important for you to have these and verify on the server side, a typical Web2 thing. And this just is the Google ID token with some added things from our end and nothing else. So this is that. The next thing is I can switch between chains. So I'll go to the Sepolia and you see I already have some balance in it. So let me try and send some transaction to my MetaMask wallet, right?
Quick
So I'll
question.
just scroll down and get my, yeah.
How did you get the Linea testnet tokens? I think that
Perfect. So I'll just go to the linear, like Sepolia faucet, and there's this HackQuest one which I used for this one. So you can always go to the MetaMask faucet, or you can just go to the linear documentation as well, right? It's clearly written how to get the different Sepolia testnet ETH, right? And I can go to the MetaMask documentation for that. We have Ethereum as well as Linea. We have very good partners as HackQuest. You can use that. We have Infura, Chainlink, all the different. You can see even like Google Cloud has Ethereum Sepolia. I guess they will have Linea Sepolia very soon. So these particular ones, you can just go and get the testnet tokens. That's what I did just
perfect.
before
Thanks.
this stream. Yeah, cool. So as I was going, I can just come here. Oh, I just need to copy my account. So address is here. And I'll send some money. Okay, 0.05. Oh, that's a lot. Point is important. Otherwise, like that's a lot of money. And I'll just send the transaction. You can see there's no transaction confirmation screen. It's automatically happening. I can add it though. There's like this particular wallet services I need to add over here, an advanced, slightly advanced thing. No, it's just like basically one line of code, honestly, but you just need to add it so that you can ask the user to confirm things. But that's the main selling point of these kind of thing, these kind of embedded wallet uh, experiences, that you can create the whole environment to be Web2 like. In one click, I did not need to approve, I did not do anything. In one click, it just sent, right? Because it's apps code, it's your own wallet. So right now, if you see, the transaction has been done, and it might show up in my uh, like MetaMask as well, right? So the transaction, yep. So basically, when the transaction is done, I just need to copy the transaction hash and go to the linear scan, and I'll go to the Sepolia linear scan and search for it. And yes, the transaction, and right now I can see I have sent money to this particular account. So that was that. And you can see the balance is updated over here as well automatically. It's all about how Wagmi handles different things. So it was as simple as that, and can go and log out my application as well. So that was the basic thing. But let's play around with it, shall we? Like we'll do some basic things. So like, Tanay, tell me which are the logins you want to remove particularly from here, and we can just play around because we did Google recently only.
What happens if you turn off external wallets?
Right. So right now you can see all these external wallets, 415 wallets are being shown, right? And if I go and turn off this thing, so I've turned off. If I refresh, this is how it is. Since MetaMask is over here and it's like the primary wallet I have, that's why it's showing up. Otherwise, all the external wallets have been turned off, right? So this is how the modal shows particularly. Similarly, I can even turn off my SMS, OTP, and things like that. And this particular button will just go off. So I have to refresh because without refreshing, it won't show. So see, that thing has gone off as well. And I can just turn off Google, maybe Facebook, some other ones. So here it might show up, right? These things. I've turned off Google and Facebook. I'll refresh again. So, oh, did I not do that? Okay, Facebook was turned off. Google was not. Farcaster is turned off. GitHub is turned off now. And refresh. Now you can see, you cannot see Farcaster, GitHub, Facebook. All of these are off. So you can just play around with it live because it's DevNet. It won't take 5 minutes as it says. 5 minutes is when it takes on mainnet. And that is because the production version, right? So that's why. And I can even play around with the brandings and stuff like that. Let me add a brand logo right here. I've already copied the Linea logo and I'll just click on save and publish, right? And this Linea logo, oh, it was already showing. I had maybe added it earlier. I can maybe turn it off. That might be fun. Okay. And the Linea logo is gone. Similarly, I can just change the mode. I can just change the color to be some other color, right? I can add like loader. I can just add particular logos on it. If I have Linea, then it shows a Linea loader. So these kind of additional interesting stuff is what we can do. We can change the style of it as well. Like if I want to test it out, I can change the border radius. It's now totally squared off. And I can just have fun. I can just have things displayed in a way which I want to display, right? So number can be shown, but we have turned off. It's just MetaMask right now. That's why it's showing it this way. And you can just see it's squared off how we just saw over here because the size of the screen, it's showing up like this. So yeah, you can have fun. You can just change to however you want. Let me just use dark mode because that looks better in this particular application, I believe. And that was that.
Yeah, we have dark mode now. Very cool.
Perfect. So any questions, anything on this side, Tanay, like any problems, anything you foresee as a developer as well?
I think this is super cool. Yeah, also very clear. I think the docs also are very helpful in understanding, how to get started. Maybe one question is before we close out, like where can folks reach out in case they have questions about either specific implementation topics or generally about MetaMask embedded wallets?
Definitely. If I talk about anything related to the MetaMask ecosystem, this is your place to ask questions. So we have this MetaMask Builder Hub, and you can just go to the embedded wallets that is with Prior, and you can just ask questions. So you see people are so much active. Like in a few hours ago, people just asked questions, and somebody from our team also responded. Like every time somebody or someone else is active and make sure like everything is answered for everybody. So you can just come here, ask your questions, and we'll be there to help you out.
Awesome. And you're also working on a lot of different stuff related to the MetaMask embedded wallets, be it demos, new feature releases. Like, what's the best way to follow you?
Yes, so you can follow me on X. That is where I post everything. I can, I guess my X is not logged in over here. You can just share my X. It will be tagged as well. And anything related to embedded wallets again will be there in the announcement section. So whatever happens, like the older version deprecation is right now announced. You can see our office hours that happen every 2 weeks is announced. And whenever we have something, we have new tutorials like the ones over here mentioned, right? And we update all the different things in our documentation very, very often. So you can just have a look over there and you can just access the different links we have given already.
Perfect. Thanks, Yash. That's a wrap. And thank you all for tuning in. If you have any questions, please write to us on Twitter, X, Builder Hub, as Yash said, and we'll try to answer those promptly. Thanks all.
Definitely.
Bye.
Thank you.